Hey guys, so I unboxed the 24105 f4 G OSS for the Sony A7 series and all the Sony series a couple of weeks ago, and I've actually managed to get out and shoot a little with it. So I thought I'd share with you 5 things that I really like about this lens. Now, here it is. It's the biggest lens we've got, but when filming, number one advantage is a heavier lens is actually quite a bit steadier to shoot with than the little primes that we usually shoot with. I'm shooting right now on the 35 1.8, but this 24-105, it makes the weight sit forward in the hand, so you can use the weight of the lens to really smoothly move about and just use this hand to manipulate the controls. So that is a major advantage, and I didn't really see that coming. I'm so used to shooting with the small lightweight primes, the 35 1.8, the 55 1.8, that I haven't had a lens this size and weight for so long I've forgotten what it was actually like to shoot with. In fact, the last time I owned a lens of this size and weight, I didn't shoot video at all, I only shot photography. So that's a real revelation coming to that. Second thing I love about this lens is the build quality. I was a little bit skeptical because it's not a GM, it is a G though, and being all plastic, I thought, is this going to be a little cheaply made? Absolutely not. The build quality is stunning, and the number one thing for me is the buttons and the dials on the side. You can't flick them accidentally, they're actually a little bit recessed. So on some of the other lenses I tended to kind of flick the autofocus manual focus switch accidentally when it was rubbing against my side when I was just kind of out and about shooting, and that would be really annoying. I'd miss shots because of that, because I thought it was on autofocus and it wasn't. So that to me is a fantastic feature. I love the fact that you can't kind of really knock these by accident, that you have to be purposeful about doing it. The two switches on the side are the autofocus manual focus switch and the optical steady shot on off. When I'm filming, optical steady shot on all the time, because I'm always shooting this lens handheld, because it won't go on the gimbal, the Weebill Lab that I have. I've tried it, it doesn't work. It works at 24mm, but it's not a good idea. You can't zoom it, and therefore there's no advantage. I'd rather just use the 25 Batis on the gimbal and use this as a handheld lens. The third thing that I really like about this lens is the focus ring. Now, I've always had a thing about focus rings, and on zooms that I've had in the past, they've always been super stiff and awkward to use. This one is really slippy. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, f4, the depth of field is pretty deep to start with, but this does kind of let you be very fingertippy about the way that you adjust the focus, and with focus peaking and this, it's really easy to get focus transitions that are really smooth. So I really like that. It's the first time I've been able to do that. Again, with the weight in this hand as well, it lets you do it with like 1 or 2 fingers and feed that focus ring like through your fingers. Absolutely brilliant. So I really enjoy shooting that way, and it has kind of changed the way I shoot a little bit, because I'd always be kind of supporting the weight of the body there, and then I'd be going over the top to do my focus and hoping I'd hold that still, and I can't press record and I can't change anything, I can't look at anything. So yeah, having it this way round, it's a very different experience, but I think I like it so far. Now, the big one, I suppose, number 4, it zooms. Now, I'm really not used to this way of shooting. I'm not. I usually zoom with my feet, kind of change my position and my angle to get the framing and composition that I want, and to have a little bit of freedom to be able to kind of play around with compositions a little more in a shorter space of time has been really interesting. I don't think it's a way that I like shooting all the time. I do like to pick a focal length and commit myself to that, so I know it, and I know what the composition is going to be like, I know how things are going to move throughout the frame. But to be able to, for example, scope out a scene in like 5 minutes and say, I wonder what this would look like as a 24 shot, now I wonder what the same thing would look like as a 50 or a 105 shot, it saves so much time, because you don't have to change lenses, you don't have to change filters or settings, you're just all kind of there. And yeah, especially when you're scoping out shots, I think it's a real time saver. Even if you're using it as like a director's viewfinder to then swap out to your primes to shoot the actual shot with shallower depth of field or whatever kind of look you're going for, I do find it invaluable to be able to do that. And I think I've got a little bit lazy in scoping out shots where I'd normally kind of get my camera in loads of different positions and loads of different focal distances and focal lengths and see what impact that has on the shot. But to be able to do that all from the camera with one single lens is really valuable. And yeah, I do think having a zoom lens is really helping me to be able to kind of get over that learning curve a little bit faster than with primes. So if you are just kind of starting out, or you've only got a couple of primes and you want to kind of really up your game with kind of learning, I think this is the way to go. I've completely reversed my thinking on this in the past couple of weeks. Like, yeah, I didn't think this was going to work for me at all, but I really find this invaluable as a learning tool. And number 5 thing that I really like about this lens is another thing on the left hand side, and you will probably think this is really boring, but the focus hold button. For me, this really works well with this lens. It means you've got kind of back button focus in reverse. If you're a photographer, you'll know what back button focus is. It's when you separate your autofocus from the shutter. So you don't have autofocus on the half press shutter. You have one dedicated focus finger and one dedicated moment finger. So this is like that in reverse. When you're shooting video, it means you can have your continuous autofocus on. It means you can grab focus on your subject, and then once you've got it, you just press and hold the focus hold button and it'll stay on your subject. So if you're tracking a subject like who's going in between columns, or if you're doing a through the window shot or anything like that, anything which involves foreground or background or anything that's going to grab focus on and change the focus throughout the shot, this is a way to lock focus on your subject and follow them through the shot without switching to manual focus. And I find that so much quicker, just being able to acquire focus using the autofocus, focus hold, follow through the shot, release, and then you're done, on to the next thing. And that's another way which I think this lens has really sped up my workflow. Now the same thing is available on the 35 1.8 and the 85 1.8 too, but having the weight in the lens end really makes this valuable, because with the lighter lenses, when I press that, I jiggle it a bit and it causes a bit of shake, and I have to kind of do that focus hold, right, press, now start the shot. With this, it's so subtle, it's, yeah, you can't even tell. So you can do multiple shots and multiple reacquisitions of focus just kind of on the lens. So yeah, I found that really valuable. So that's a few things that I really love about this lens. I am liking shooting with it so far. Whether it's going to be a permanent way of shooting, I don't know. Now, lockdown in place and everything, it's been hard to get any kind of shooting time. I have done a little bit around the house, and we did go out for one walk down an empty farm track about a week and a half ago, so I managed to get a little bit of footage at sunset then. I put it together with a little film. I show you that now, but yeah, enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is my first shoot with this lens. It was all handheld as well, so I was testing out the stabilisation on it, which I'm really impressed by. I really appreciate it when you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and I love producing content for you guys. So hit the notification bell, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the film, guys.